Okay, we're going to be talking about some extensions and apps for your Chromebooks. So you're going to need your Chromebooks out because we're going to install some extensions and apps. My name is Ryan Clark. I'm from Tri-County. I teach in the elementary out there, so it's a little bit different setup. I don't work with high school kids every day, so this is a little different. First thing I want to talk about is the difference between an extension and an app. I'm sure you've heard both of those terminologies. When you download an extension, it changes the way your computer does something. So just like if a teacher asked you to do more than one thing at once, it would take you a little bit longer than if they asked you to do one thing at once. So the more extensions you add to your Chrome browser, the likelihood it could slow down a little bit. You'll have to get a ton of extensions on there to see any performance issues, but just be aware that if you put a ton of extensions on your computer, it could slow it down. It won't slow down your computer, it'll slow down your Chrome browser. So if you log into like your parents' computer with your Google account into Chrome, all your extensions that you have downloaded already will appear on that computer, on that browser. So then that browser will slow down, but you have to download a ton of extensions to slow it down. So just be aware that it will slow it down eventually if you keep at it. So that's an extension. It changes the way your computer does something. An app, in my opinion, is like a bookmark. It'll take you to a website that you likely have created a username and password for. So an app, they're great, but they're kind of like bookmarks. Extensions really change the way your computer does stuff. So, all right, let's get into a little bit. There's two parts to this. One part is must-have, so the extensions that Fairbury wants you to have available on your Chromebook. So we're going to go through those at first, and then the next half are a pick of like 10 or 12. Be nice to have extensions. So then it'll give you a chance to. I'm going to assign some extensions to kids, and you're going to explore them, and you're going to report back to us and see what you think about them. You can give it thumbs up, thumbs down. Extension, they're not for everybody, just kind of depending on what you want to do with your Chromebook. All right, so first things first, we're going to be, figure out how to do this. You're going to need to access the Chrome Extension Store. And the easiest way I can say to find this is to Google Chrome Extension Store. And then, since you've already logged into your Chromebook to get into it, you're already logged on to into your Google account. So every extension and every app that you accept or download will appear on your Chromebook or appear on your browser. So Google Chrome Extension Store, or if you're really picky, you can type in that address. So everybody get there? Chrome Extension Store. So taking a look at the Chrome Extension Store, it's I have one up here. There's, if I can take a look at the view of the Chrome Extension Store, there's some things going on here that are pretty useful. Up here you can select between apps, games, extensions, and themes. So if you're looking for a specific extension, it's good to highlight the extension tab so you can filter out all the apps and the games and the themes, just to narrow your search a little bit. Mine's kind of washed out up here, but you can see it too. And then the types, Chrome apps and websites, that's specifically for apps. I don't really mess with that whole lot, but what I do look at quite a bit is the rating system down here. I generally try to select at least 4 stars and up when I'm selecting an extension or an app, and I also look at the number of reviews. So if an extension is getting 2 stars, I wouldn't even mess with it because it's probably pretty accurate. So I would try to stick with the 4 and up status for stars. But be careful because if you have this clicked and you don't know it, you might not be able to find an extension. So those are some easy ways to narrow down your search. You can always, you see up there, you can also search the store. Okay, so the first thing we want to pull up is Fairbury wants you to have, some must-haves, is a QR code reader. And I'll show you what it looks like here with the one that they want you to have. It had high ratings. It has like 4.5 stars, which is really, really good. And I don't know, somebody took time to review a QR reader, 127 reviews. So get to the Chrome extension store, type in the QR code extension, and the one that you're looking for, it has like a reddish background on the little icon. And all you have to do once you find it is click Add to Chrome. And there might be a dialog box that says, are you sure? Yeah, that's a pretty safe one. QR code extension. Because you all have cameras on your Chromebooks, and teachers can obviously now have you snap a shot of a QR code and take it to a website pretty easily. The QR code extension. Ever have luck finding it? Pretty simple process. The Chrome extension store and app store is pretty easy to navigate through. Very good. All right, so that's Chrome extension QR code readers. Everybody understand how to use a QR code reader? I don't need to go in that, do I? All right. So that's that. That's one down. Another extension that Fairbury like you to have is called AdBlock. I'll type it up here. AdBlock Plus. It does just what it says. It blocks ads, and this one's a good one because it gives you a little bit of an idea of, trying to cast it up here, it gives you an idea of how many ads it has blocked. So if you're on particular news sites, there are a lot of ads on news sites, Journal Star and things like that. That's how they make their money, is to sell ads, and so this blocks up pop-up ads and things like that. So AdBlock Plus, go for the one they want is, and a lot of them are named AdBlock, but the one that you want is the one that says most popular. Actually, no, I misspoke there. This one up here says AdBlock Plus, like I've been talking about. So it's over a ton of good reviews. Really, you could probably go either way with each of these because they're such high ratings. In the future, you might want to check out AdBlock for YouTube. It's really good because it eliminates some of those ads on videos. So sometime you might want to check that out. And I'll show you in a little bit how to get rid of extensions if you find that you're not using them. So so AdBlock is something that Fairbury wants you to have. Any questions about AdBlock? That's something that you'll never really notice because it runs in the background. All right, next one that Fairbury wants you to have is called, yeah?
I clicked on, I don't know which one specifically, but I clicked on it and it took me to another tab and it asked if I wanted to pay with credit.
You don't want to do that.
This one?
So, sorry. I would do this top one here. Good question. Yeah, when they ask you for credit and things like that, you can usually find an app or an extension that's free. So you did not the right thing to. No way, I'm not doing that. So most of the things that you can find should be free. This one is called Grammarly Spell Checker and Grammar Check. So in your extension store, try to type in that. It's by Grammarly. That's the company. This is a pretty cool one because you're going to be using a lot of Google Docs and slides and sheets, and they're getting really, really good at becoming a Microsoft Word, but their spell check and their grammar check isn't quite to the level of those. So this will help you in that process of making sure that your spelling and your grammar is correct. This is a nice job of highlighting and predicting on what you want to really say. So this is another one that you don't have to click to start running. It'll run in the background. So when you're typing a Google Doc, and you spell a word incorrectly, it will highlight it in green and give you suggestions. There is a paid one they used to have by Grammarly, used to be called Ginger. that's really, really good, but it costs money. And you can try it for free, and they only allow you a certain amount of corrections. But this is a good one because it really does a nice job of editing your papers as you're writing. So as you're writing papers on Google Docs, this will run in the background. So if you see a word pop up in green, that's what's running there is Grammarly, Spell Checker, and Grammar Check. Everybody find that? We're good to go? It's just a good old-fashioned spell checker. This next one I'll show you up here is Google Dictionary. And this is useful. It just saves you a step. I know you can, so you got to find the one that says by Google. Google Dictionary by Google, and it has 4.5 stars and 10,000 reviews. That's the one we're looking for. You might think to yourself, well, if I'm confused about a word, I can just Google it. I'm on the computer. True, you can. But this is kind of like reading an ebook, like on a tablet, where you can double-click a word and it defines it for you. I always find that kind of nice. So this is the same process. You can double-tap a word, and a pop-up box will define it for you, so you don't have to get out of your tab. This will always run in the background. Thing to note, though, if once you install an extension and you had a bunch of tabs open, the extension won't work on the tabs that you already had open, so it'll work the next time you open up a tab. Not a huge issue, but if you're looking for something to work right away, close down a tab, open it back up, it should work. So this is Google Dictionary by Google. You just have to double-click a word, and it'll not translate, it'll define it for you. That's a nice one to have. Another must-have, I'll show you. It's called LastPass, Free Password Manager. Surprisingly, good. I keep casting to the media center a couple times. They're probably mad at me. This one's called LastPass, Free Password Manager. This is one of the only ones I've seen that has 5 out of 5 stars and 15,000 reviews. That's good because whenever you're dealing with a password and a username, you don't want a lot of people to know it. And you don't want untrustworthy extensions to have access to your stuff. But this is one that you'll have to create some stuff. You'll have to create a master password and to be able to use it. This is a good extension because it creates, if you would like it to create a username and password for you. I know because sometimes it's hard to come up with a password with numbers and whatnot. So it'll actually create a password for you, and it'll keep track of all your usernames and passwords and stuff. So you have to go in and arrange some particulars, like a master password and a question to ask you. But once you get that all established, it runs pretty smoothly. So towards the end, I'll get you a chance to enter all that data in, so you'll be able to, you'll be able to control your username and passwords with LastPass when you add that extension. So that's a nice one, and I can tell that's a trustworthy one because 5 out of 5 stars and tons of reviews. So that's good, especially since, like I said, it's a password manager. All right. Any questions so far? We're good? All right. The next one, this one is called Read and Write for Google Chrome. Yeah, it does what it says. It reads and writes stuff, but it also does some really other cool things. So let's get there, and I'll talk about it. And you'll see the one with the puzzle piece, RW, purple puzzle piece. I'll show you how this one works. And once you get it installed, like I said, when you installed it, this extension, if you have an open tab, it won't work until you close down the tab and open up a new one. So once you get this installed, here's kind of how this one would work. I'll open up a Google Doc. This is something that you're going to see later. And so I have my Google Doc, and it's kind of washed out on your screen, but you can kind of get the picture, get the idea. So this allows you to do lots of different things, like highlight things. So I know you're thinking big deal, I can highlight. So if I double click the word, you can't even see that. I double click the word clearly up there. If I want to highlight that in blue, I can. There you go. It can also, my speaker's up here. It can also read the word to me.
Clear.
Okay, so I mean, I know you can read the word clearly, but if you're reading, if I had a whole large amount of text, like on a web page, it could read the whole, everything that I highlighted, it would read that to me. So that's good for, not only multitasking. If you write a speech out in your Google Docs and you want to hear the speech read back to you, because it's always nice to hear it rather than just read it. So that's a good way. As an elementary teacher, I can see myself using this for kids with fluency. So there's lots of different avenues. You can also dictate text, so you can speak it and it will write it. And there's a prediction mode. So whenever you can't see my my arrow for my mouse, but I can see that purple RW. Okay, so that's the icon for this read and write, and that means that this extension is running in the background. So say that I downloaded read and write, I downloaded this extension, and I'm just thinking, I'm not a big fan of it, just don't need it. So how do I get rid of it? There's a couple different ways you can get rid of it. One of the easiest ways, and for lack of a better term, this is what they used to be called, and I'm going to show you up here because you can't see my toolbar. But the upper right-hand corner of your browser, you see 3 horizontal lines. Those, I don't know, I think they changed the name of them. They used to be called hot dogs. It's kind of a weird name, but Google named them the hot dogs. So if you click that just once and you scroll down to more tools, and then you go over to extensions and click extensions, you'll get a list. I can cast this up here. You'll get a list of all the extensions you have running on your Chrome browser. And so if you're looking at mine up here, I always have Boomerang running for Gmail. That's something I never use unless I'm using it. If you get time later, Boomerang's pretty cool because you can type an email now and tell it to send it in 3 days. So the person can get the email in 3 days rather than now when you want them to. Or if you get the email and you don't want to read it now, you can boomerang it back to you in a week if you wanted to. So I use that quite a lot because if you're like me, you open up an email and you forget to respond. And I don't know, do kids even use email? You will. So Boomerang for email or for Gmail is nice. But anyway, these are the extensions I have running on my browser. And if I find one that I don't want to run anymore, you can see there, it's pretty self-explanatory. I can either throw it in the trash by clicking the trash can, and it would dump it and would get rid of it off my browser, or I can just simply click the checkbox for the enabled, and then it becomes disabled, and it's on my browser, but it's not running, so it's not taking up valuable memory and speed. So there's a couple of different ways to get rid of extensions or have them on your computer but not be in use. So that's a good way to check, and because sometimes you'll download an extension, you forget about it, and it'll be on there forever. So every once in a while, go through your extensions and see which ones you really need and which ones you don't. And so there's my read and write for Google Chrome. I can disable it, and then if I go back to my doc that I was showing you, now it's disabled. So once I close that, I don't want to close that doc down because I'll need it in a minute. Once I close that doc, that shouldn't appear. So that's a quick rundown of how you get rid of some extensions. Okay, back at it. So we talked about read and write for Chrome. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some goodies, So we'll quickly go through some of these goodies. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on them, just enough time to get you maybe a little interested. And so I'll have kids, groups of kids, look at them and share out. Okay, so this first one that we're going to look at is, maybe I should do it this way. Yeah, I'll show you the presentation and I'll let you search for it. I have to give you practice on that. It always goes back to the beginning when I go back to the tab, but here we go. All right, so now we're some goodies. This one's called Send to Google Drive. You're going to be using a ton of Google Drive now that you have Chromebooks at your fingertips 24/7. So everything that you hopefully create, you'll save in your Google Drive. And I really strongly encourage you creating folders and being a pro at creating folders in your Google Drive. Because if you use the extension Send to Google Drive, when you're on a web page and you want to use it for later, you want to type a note about it, you want to use it for a project, if you have this extension installed on your browser, it'll allow you to save a web page as a PDF and then send it straight to your Google Drive. And if you're one of those people have your Google Drive really organized, you'll be able to select a folder that send it right into there too. So in a little bit, if that's piquing your interest a little bit, you'll be able to get on, be the expert, and send a Google Drive and tell us yes, no, or don't do it. So these ones you don't have to have, but they'd be nice to have. They're beneficial. Yeah, we're going to be doing Send to Google Drive. You'll see a lot of similarities in names, but the company is a little bit different sometimes. And they're probably both perfectly fine too. So. This next one is Clearly. Does anybody here use Evernote? Ever have any students at Fairbury use Evernote? I don't know. If you're planning on or thinking about using your Chromebooks for taking notes in class, I would encourage you to check out Evernote, and that'd be an app. Evernote is, as a note taker, as a heavy note taker, Evernote really does know how to take notes. For instance, if you're taking a note and you want to create a bullet list, sometimes it's cumbersome in Google Docs or Microsoft Word to create that, and the double tabs, and it just kind of gets messy. But for some reason, Evernote has it figured out, and it always works out very nicely when you're taking a note in Evernote. Another cool thing about Evernote is there's a lot of, if you have an iPhone or if you have a Android device, there's lots of, the app that you can download on your phone works seamlessly for the app that you can have on Chrome. So if you're reading a news article on your phone, there's a way to send a news article to Evernote, and you can save it from there. This is Clearly, it's called, you can works with Evernote. What it does is it takes a blog and it'll allow you to send a note to Evernote and type a note about it. So it kind of works the same as Send to Drive, but this will send it into your Evernote account if you have Evernote. But I do recommend Evernote. It's a nice app. So this is kind of the same as that one. So we have 3 web pages turning into PDF. Save to PDF takes a web page and saves it into a PDF form. That'll be super valuable when you really get into your Chromebooks, because you don't want to. I mean, when you save things to PDFs, you can access them offline. You can access them online. They're easy to print. So saving things to PDF is a really valuable skill to have. So that extension will allow you to save to PDF a lot easier, because you used to have to go to print, save to PDF, save it on your hard drive. This will allow you just to do it with one click. So save to PDF will be one that we can look at in a minute. Screencastify. Is there any teachers at Fairbury do a flipped classroom? I think one that does at least. Or maybe you've looked at a YouTube video where you can see the person's computer screen and the mouse moving around and their voices over it, showing you how to do stuff. Well, this is an extension that will allow you to create a screencast. So it's a video of your computer screen. So if you're creating a project, you have a slideshow that you want to talk over, you want to send it to your teacher, you'll be able to save Screencastify to your drive and then share it with your teacher. So that's a pretty valuable one if you want to show what you've learned to your teacher. We had some issue yesterday on some of the junior high Chromebooks that they didn't have enough memory space, so you may or may not be able to do that one. So you just got to wait a couple years. So that's Screencastify. We'll have a list of these up there for you to check out in a minute. Quizlet is an app. Anybody use Quizlet? Lots of teachers are getting into Quizlet. This is one you have to have an account. I like Quizlet because if you're looking for content to study, maybe if you have a geography class, maybe you're studying the capitals of, say, Europe, you can search Quizlet for some content to study if you're lacking content to be able to study on your own. So Quizlet, you can search content, you can create content to study, you can create your own study games and crosswords. So Quizlet, it'll give somebody a chance to check out Quizlet, recommend or not recommend it in a little bit here. Are we good so far? I'm going to get you busy here. So this next one's called PicMonkey. We've had some issues. It's hit and miss of kids being able to access PicMonkey as an extension. What PicMonkey is, it's a photo editing extension that allows you to edit photos from the web on your Chromebook. Since your Chromebook doesn't have a very big hard drive and doesn't have any applications, this will allow you to edit photos. So you're not going to be having to save things to your small hard drive and if you want to edit those. So that's PicMonkey. You may or may not be able to use it. I haven't quite figured out the rhyme or reason why some kids get on it and some kids can't. So PicMonkey will be an opportunity to explore. This one is called Stay Focused. So if you're one of those kiddos who really get into something on your Chromebook and you forget to study for a test, and you're a little bit of self-discipline going on too, this extension will remind you that you need to stay focused. It'll help you get off of what you were doing and move on to something else. So it's a reminder to do something different. So it's kind of a bummer when it pops up. This next one, I like this a little bit better than Stay Focused because it allows you to multitask. So if you're typing an essay on Google Docs and you have a final to study for, and I'll say again, maybe in geography. So if you want to do two things at once, this allows you to do that. You can type your doc. In the meantime, you can enter information on memorize questions and answers, and you can set an interval for, I don't know, if you want to go 5 minutes, you want to go 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes, whatever you set your interval for, a question will pop up. So what is the capital of Argentina? You answer it, click enter, keep working on your doc. 5 more minutes, another question will pop up. What's the capital of Mexico? So it'll keep you studying while you're doing something else. So could be good, could be bad, but whatever worked for you. That's a memorize. So it's a multitasking, staying focused type of extension. All right. Study Stack is kind of like Memorize, but it'll take you to, it's an app. It'll take you to a website. You can create crossword puzzles and play hangman with information that you input. So it helps you study. Study Stack. It's pretty cool. As for studying goes. This next one's a graphing calculator. So if you're in calculus and you need a graphing calculator, this is it's an app. It's a good app to have. It's not an extension. So it'll take you to a website to input functions and create tables as a graphing calculator. I think it was a junior high kid the other day wanted to download a calculator. It's also a good thing to find a calculator if you're going to be using your Chromebook. You can enter simple operations in your browser and have it spit out. Google will tell you the answer, but calculator is always nice too. But I don't have a calculator that they recommend. If you're looking for a calculator, I would just find one that has high ratings and high reviews. So that's a calculator. And this last one, Biodigital Human, it's an app. It'll take you to a website that lets you explore the human anatomy. So it's pretty cool. You also can dissect the human anatomy. So those are some goodies. We have about 15 minutes to explore some. So what I'm going to have up on the screen is a list of goodies that the way it's worked best in the past is I'm going to go through the goodies. I'll read them, and if you want to get a group of 2 or 3 kids involved with exploring the app and messing with it and seeing what it does and what it can't do, First come, first serve, then we'll go back and I'll assign. Okay, so I'll just read them off, and if you want to raise your hand, I'll assign it to you, okay? So who would like to check out Send to Google Drive? Nobody? What about Clearly? That's the one with Evernote. Nobody? All right. Save to PDF. Those aren't very exciting, I agree. But they will be useful. Screencastify, does anybody want to check that out? Can't be a junior high kid, or if it is, I think the dark ones would have to work. Anybody want to try out Screencastify? Not yet? Oh, we got somebody? No? You moved. You moved. Quizlet? Anybody want to check that out? Nobody? All right. What about PicMonkey? I think I'm going to go assign stuff. Stay Focused. That's the one that'll shut down a tab. And try that? Try that. Do you want to get a group, or you want to try it by yourself? All right. Memorize is the one that you can input information and multitask. You got it? Want to get a group of kids to try it with you? All right. All right. Study Stack creates crossword puzzle, hangman, word finds.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you delete like an app?
I'll show you. I'll come by and show you. So, Austin, you want to get a group of kids? Sweet. Desmos Graphing Calculator. Any mathematicians in here? Check that out. No? Biodigital Human. All right. We got 3. There we go. There's a group. Who needs one? Okay. Do you want to pick one? All right. Can you try? Can you try? Is anybody? Can you look at Send to Google Drive Clearly and save to PDF and see which one's the best and not the best? Who else needs one? Sweet. That works.
Memorize is weird. I don't understand.
What's now? Oh, okay. So you guys there's a way you need technical questions. You need to put a colon after your question and then type the answer in.
Which one is the memorize? Is it,
Memorize. I'll put it up there for you.
oh, wait, no, you
That's the one you need. So you need to get rid of an app. Okay, so if you can just put 2 fingers on it, and then I think you can go to remove from Chrome. There it is. Yep. I gotta tell kids that one. That's easy to forget to do.
I'm on the answer right now.
What is the color of the alphabet? Best color of the alphabet?
Why not?
So what's the answer?
17.
Is that the answer?
Sure.
Click OK.
Oh,
Well,
I
if you click
agree.
the X, what is the best color of the alphabet? We had to put the answer in.
Oh, okay. How do you get into them?
Okay, so like this Grammarly Lite
Yeah.
it'll work in the background. So if you're using if
just
you're typing an
typing it
email,
out.
it'll pop up. And
Okay, so I want to do.
do you want to try it and see if it
memorize
works?
thing.
Oh, the memorize.
I
So
So I would make this and make the kids do it? I don't know.
for memorize,
Yeah.
you could have that. That's one that you could probably have do it together as a class. Sometimes it takes a little bit of self-motivation by the student for that one, and the one
And that's
stay
what it
focused.
pops up every so often.
Yeah, that I could see you doing that in class.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
absolutely.
There's a
So-
kind of a trick to that one.
Okay.
So
So I've already.
so click the
where are they?
memorize. Most
I'm
times
just-
they pop up here.
Where do I?
Where'd it go? Is it this one? Kind of scroll over those. It'll if you delay it, that's the last pass. Keep going over. I think it might be towards that way. It's the one with the person. There it is. Click that. And so there's a format to use for memorize. So if you ask a question, what color is an orange?
All right, I'm just saying, what is
Yeah.
a noun? That's
Yeah.
what we've been doing.
Wait a minute. I'm glad you made it academic.
Okay,
What is a noun? And then you have to push colon.
okay. Make a question mark though?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So need to colon, and then your answer. Yep.
There's,
This would be cool. You can actually give them sentences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, every
So yeah.
5 minutes, I want them to do this. So that I'm,
And so
That's what
as soon as you click,
just do.
as soon as you click start, it'll ask you the first question. So if you have more than one question, every 5 minutes it'll pop up.
okay, and it just does that.
And now
You
I
have to
wonder
spell
if
it
you have to, I
correctly?
wonder if you have to have your commas
That's
in
what
there.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, you do gotta have
Okay,
your commas,
so
exactly.
I shouldn't put it up there because the kids will never do that.
That'd be
All right.
tough. But yeah, you got the idea.
Okay,
And so yeah,
yeah.
if you enter more questions in there, it'll keep going. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
But it
So-
could be.
And how do I get a new question?
So click on that person. So I think you just push.
Oh.
Actually, you're in there already. You can push return.
Number one, I'll get rid of my comma because I'm gonna do it. Okay. Oh, I just hit return. Yes,
So you want to type another question in there, maybe?
yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, you could type a bunch
Yeah,
of
you just
questions
keep-
on one thing.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay. Question colon answer.
Yeah, that's
All
the
right.
format, and I don't know why. It's kind of how they programmed
Okay.
it.
All right, that's good. All right.
Couple more minutes, then we're going to do a share session. A couple apps. If you're
PicMonkey, I went to type
blocked.
license block.
Yeah. I can't figure out. Some kids can get into it, some kids can't. But hopefully they'll iron out some of the filter things and we'll get into it later. Oh, you want to go to everyone? And that's an app. There it is, that top one. What is that? Yes, that is yep. So then that's an app, and it'll just create like an icon for you. What I do is you can drag these apps off of there and onto your toolbox at the bottom if you like it. I don't want to step on any presenters' toes. I don't know if they've showed you any of that stuff, have they? How to drag any of that around? Get it. Things kids wanted to know how to delete an app, right? It's kind of easy. So there's a couple different ways to do it. I'll have to show you with my computer because my toolbar doesn't come up. But at the bottom, on mine I got a ton of apps on the bottom. On my, I don't know, on a Mac it would be called a dock. But if you wanted to get rid of it, you just put your cursor over it and put 2 fingers, tap it with 2 fingers, and it'll give you a list of things to do. In this case, you can unpin it. But if you want to delete the app, you got to go to your arrow, find all your, or not your arrow, magnifying glass, find all your apps, and do that same thing where you two finger click on it, and you can remove it from Chrome. So that's how you delete an app. That's how I do it. There's probably plenty of other ways to do it. You can go to your hot dogs again and find it and delete it. But to me, the 2 finger click is the way to go if I'm deleting something. So let's start. We only have about 7 minutes. So did anybody get a chance to look at send to Google Drive clearly and save to PDF? Do we have a crew of kids doing that? Probably don't think so. That's pretty self-explanatory. That's not an exciting one. I get it. But you will have a chance this next semester, hopefully at school, to utilize that one. Screencastify. Did anybody get into that one? Nope, not yet. Okay, Quizlet. I know somebody did that. What'd you find with Quizlet? Do you recommend it? Did you get a chance to create any content? Did you maybe search for some content that it's a pretty big library of content for Quizlet if you're looking for something to study to be prepared for an assessment or a quiz. Quizlet's a good one. Teachers probably utilize that quite a bit too for you. PicMonkey. We we had somebody use PicMonkey, but they couldn't get into it. It's blocked. So just like any website extensions, apps are websites, and so Fairbury has to decide what kind of content they want to let through their filter. So if I don't know the process of asking for a particular website to be allowed through the filter, but PicMonkey is one they recommended. You might want, if you need it for some sort of class, I would talk to your teacher. Yeah. Which one? The PDF. I'll come back there and look at it. Okay. And what about? Did somebody try Stay Focused? You didn't need that one. That one will simply shut down your tab until you disable it. Memorize. Somebody was trying to memorize, right? How'd it go, kids?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Could you see yourself using it if you had to study for a test? If you had to study for a test, but not any other reason, right?
No.
I think you better watch out. Teachers are starting to get into memorize too, so they might. I don't know how you can share content. Maybe be able to cut and paste something and put it in there.
True. Or so they type their own.
Yeah.
So
Maybe be able to create a document and they can share it with them and they can just cut it in there. There is a particular format for it you got to know for the memorize. It's kind of nice. And I don't know what happens if you can't get the answer right either. So that's something we got to iron out too. So you might be stuck on the same question all day. You can X out of it even if you can't get it right? Okay. So there you go. Problem solved. Study Stack. Did anybody try that one? Nobody? It's kind of the same as those other two. The graphing calculator. Did anybody get in on that one? Man, what did you guys do? The Digital Human app. I saw some kids getting into that one. Was it anything exciting?
Well, it definitely blew my 10-pound medical book out of the water.
Okay. So it's a good way to access some anatomy classes versus carrying a textbook around. All right. Not just a gimmicky website. Some good stuff on it. All right. A couple ones that I wanted to, before we got about 3 minutes. There's these two here. I use quite a bit. The Google or the address URL shortener. Whenever you send a web address to somebody, maybe over email, you get the emails that are lengthy links, and those are kind of hard to. I mean, they don't do anything; they're just kind of annoying. But this Google URL shortener, if you in your web store, if you search for goo.gl, that's a really good one because it installs it on your screen, and I'll cast this tab for you. You can simply, and I wish you could see my toolbar because it's really handy. If you're looking for a URL shortener, that's the one that's pretty good. It'll shorten your URL, and it's located right at the top of the tool screen. So if I had a huge web address, I could just click my extension on top, and it shortens it, and I can copy, and it sends it to my clipboard where I can copy it. Or if you're into QR codes, it'll create a QR code for you. So I recommend the URL shortener there if you're looking for one. There's one last one I want to share with you that if you're working in a small group like we were and you wanted to share a link with somebody, so you could email them the link. You could show them your computer, they could type it in, or you can send them a tone. So if you had Google Tone on your computer, that link would pop up in the bottom right-hand side of your screen if you had that extension. So what that extension is, it's called Google Tone. So that's great for when you're working with a small group and you're sharing addresses. Sometimes extensions will appear out of nowhere. It's this one right here. Sometimes extensions will appear out of nowhere on your toolbar. That's because your district pushed them out. So your district has the ability to install extensions on your computer if they think it's worthwhile. So if you see an extension on your computer and you're wondering where it came from, that might be where. And the way you can tell the difference if you put it on there versus your district. I'll show you. Cast this tab up here. You can look at. It won't give you the ability to disable stuff. So I'm looking for Google Tone because I know my district put that on there. Here it is. So if you look in here, most of them have trash cans to hang it to delete stuff, but since Google Tone was by Tri-County, it was put on there by Tri-County. It has a little picture of a building, so the building put it on there. So I won't be able to delete that. If that's on there, you're just going to have to deal with it. I don't know. You can disable it, so if you don't want it running, you can do that. But it'll be there until your district or people who own your computer take it off. So that's what that building means. Any questions on how to delete extensions or add extensions? About apps, it's kind of the same way. Just got to double click with 2 fingers and they're gone. I recommend creating a nice dock at the bottom that you can go to. That just makes your life a little bit easier. Kind of figure out which ones you need most often and use your dock. So that's all I have for you. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your Chromebooks. Have a Merry Christmas.